Well, Mike, great to catch up with you in the Wanganui area, and we're going to talk a wee bit about bull sales and the significance thereof. Tell us what's been happening in your neck of the woods.
Morning, Mark. Good to see you again.
Likewise.
We had our bull sale a fortnight ago, so that's always a big day for us. I suppose everything leads up to that. In the 12 months, most of the yearling bulls, so the calves are hitting the ground at the moment. We're 2/3 of the way through calving, and it's quite exciting actually seeing in 12 months they're going out the other end in the sale. So yeah, we've had our bull sale, went well, all sold, and I think like other studs, we're seeing more interest in dairy farmers looking to put a beef bull over their dairy heifers and dairy cows to add value to the calves.
So can you sort of explain what that actually means? So, they're putting a bull, a meat bull effectively over a dairy cow. What's the significance of that?
Most dairy farmers probably ABing for 6 weeks to get their herd replacements. And then, so there's surplus cows that they don't need replacements out of. And often those calves, lots of heifers, the safest option is using a Jersey bull over the heifers, but those calves are very small and even on the bobby truck don't have a lot of value. So that's where the beef bull is providing some extra carcass traits and growth rate to those calves and making those calves suitable for the beef supply chain, so to be sold to a beef finisher. So
effectively, it's another income stream.
Calves aren't a main source of income of a dairy farm, but certainly are very handy, especially in those low payout years. But it's also, we've seen Fonterra come out and put say that they want every calf to enter a value chain, a value supply chain. So so that's where they've been reared for beef finishing or going on bobby truck. On the bobby truck. So that's So the last few years we've certainly seen interest in people wanting to move away from bobbies. There's quite a few clients who are quite proud that they don't put any calves on the bobby truck. So our focus has been on that low birth weight, easy calving bull, and I suppose the whole industry is looking for opportunities to give dairy farmers confidence that they've got, that we can actually use a beef bull without impacting on their heifers.
Now, with the livestock export trade being gazumped basically, I think from next April, the Parliament decided on that just the other day. What impact will that have?
Yeah, well, it's I think it's just another example of legislation being passed by this government without looking at the big picture. On one side, a government wants us to improve the animal welfare and making sure that all the calves do enter a value chain. They're also passing legislation where we can't increase the number of livestock that we can farm in New Zealand through environmental regulation. So these extra calves that have been reared, or hopefully they get reared, basically they need to be farmed somewhere. The environmental regulations, we can't take them to the winter, so maybe there's an opportunity overseas for us to rear these calves through to 200 kilos and export them to another country where they where they don't have a big breeding herd of cattle. So once again, it's that market mightn't be there now, but agriculture is shown to be great innovators through the history of agriculture. We've innovated, we've found markets, we've added value, and that's what's driven New Zealand. And a government making a stupid decision like this that wasn't even based on science or sound facts, is more based on emotion and ideology probably. They will restrict agriculture finding a solution for its own challenge, I suppose.
So what you're saying is those calves that may have been bobby calves could be raised and then have been sold for livestock for export?
Yep. And so hopefully it's reconsidered. The live exports lifted their game a hell of a lot in the last 5 years, and they in the last 18 months have gone back to the government with a proposal where it was really gold standard.
Well, of course, it's one of those things. I think the minister says, oh, well, it wasn't a very big industry anyway, but of course the potential for it to be huge and a good earner, really.
$250 million just in receipts from overseas. And you talk to the local transport country, the local transport companies, the vets, and it was a good option for us, and that it meant we didn't have to take those fattening cattle through a second winter, so it was actually easy on the farm as well. It made sense environmentally.